Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic, manipulative immortality in the Word. I find it curiously odd when some writers, as the voice of a certain narrow generation, write books and stories to be published not upon the event of their death, but a long time after they're moldering and forgotten. What is the point of trying to force yourself into relevance beyond the grave? Are you that important? Do you command that people remember you? Well, authors Margaret Atwood and David Mitchell seem to think so. From Wired. At 1:15 a.m. on May 24, 2016, author David Mitchell wrote the last line of his latest novella, "From me flows what you call time." He printed out the manuscript, placed it in a walnut wood box with a silver imprint of his hand on the lid, and went to sleep at home in Ireland. A few days later, the manuscript, still in its box, he took it to a ceremony in the Nordmarka forest in Norway, where he handed his brainchild over to the Future Library Project. No one alive today, not even Mitchell, will ever see the work again. Starting with Margaret Atwood, a different author will be contributing work to the vault each year, with none to be opened until the year 2114. In 2018, the works will be stored in a dedicated room at the new Dijkman Public Library in Oslo. For now, one paper manuscript and one digital copy of each work is stored in a vault in the Oslo City Archives. The project is on a timescale that's beyond ours, says Katie Patterson, a Scottish artist who started the project in 2014. The authors are writing for an unknown reader in the future. Now, isn't that something? The Future Library for unknown readers. Now, if that idea wasn't so cynically dystopian, I think I could maybe manage a laugh. Our current world, our now, is filled with dead authors and even more dead manuscripts and forgotten books that will never see the light of day. Never mind the glimmer of a new reader's eye. So to purposefully write a book, a new book, an unread book, for the future library that is not intended to be read by anyone alive, is both disingenuous and hubristic. The future library will soon be filled with dead authors who hope, from their graves, that someone will pick up their dusty missives and perhaps, maybe, start to care about them sometime in the unknown future. Probably a lot more than they were cared about in their own time. I'm sorry, but that is the hard, brittle reality of it all, and it's all terribly misbegotten. The future library is just a forlorn graveyard swipe at trying to grasp immortality. And it's a manipulative immortality at that. But there's one abridged bet that must be set into place first. That you think you'll matter in 100 years. that you think you are so important that you'll have something relevant to share with generations yet unborn. And you will be forgotten. You will be irrelevant. You will not matter to those you do not know, because they do not know you. There will be no big revelation of who you are in 100 years or what you meant to the people who knew you way back then. We all will be, and we all will have been forgotten. And that's as it should be. The future is for the people who live there, and the past belongs to us. And on a more basic level, why hide something? Why write something that people today may want to read right now? But this idea of storing manuscripts for the future is not new. A few years ago, NPR reported this about J.D. Salinger's future publishing plans after his death. Citing two anonymous sources, the authors say that Salinger left instructions authorizing a specific timetable, starting between 2015 and 2020, for the release of unpublished work, including 5 new Glass family stories. Also, a novel based on his relationship with his first wife, Sylvia Welter, a German he married shortly after World War II. Also, a novella in the form of a counterintelligence officer's diary entries during the war, and a story-filled manual about the Vendetta religious philosophy. And finally, the last and best of the Peter Pans, an update on the lives of Holden Caulfield and his family. And Salinger said this often during his lifetime about publishing.
I refuse to publish. There's a marvelous peace in not publishing. There's a stillness. When you publish, the world thinks you owe something. If you don't publish, they don't know what you're doing. You can keep it for yourself.
Yes, all of that is true. And all very blunt and really boring. One writes not just to write or to be published, but to be read and understood. And you want to be first read and celebrated or rejected, but never ignored, by those who are alive with you in the same realm of time as you, just so you have made your archival mark among the living and never the dead. And you will be responded to in real time, in your time, if you choose to find the right method and direction for the compelling cogency of confirmation. You don't write for people unborn 100 years into the future to read your work first, even though you may hope for a certain longevity and sustenance into the future. But all of that hoping and dreaming doesn't mean that it will happen or that you will make it. Yet, you hope for preservation in amber, as long as you lived and found life in the current spokes of your being. Never delay the pleasure of the word, held in the dark, captured inside a mahogany box, with your silvery handprint on it, all saved for a future nobody knows will arrive, or not. You are the creator of yourself, And your writing requires your immortality in the immolating spark of its life beyond you. But you must first set the fire. You must know your work has the long-burning possibility of creating smoke and significance and indications beyond the horizon. Thank you for listening. Be a human me.